Hello, good morning students. We have completed the root system, shoot system, the leaf and inflorescence. Whatever we have studied in previous session, it is just for your knowledge for appearing for competitive exam. The questions are not at all expected in this year's annual exam. Whatever we are dealing today, it is the most important, will carry maximum marks for this year's annual exam. As in today's session, we are dealing with the parts of typical flower. Flower is highly condensed, modified shoot for sexual reproduction. I'll repeat. It is the most beautiful part of the plant. It is modified, condensed shoot axis for carrying out all the sexual reproductive activities. This is the typical feature of angiosperms, as this division includes all flowering plants. Before I begin, I will just tell you from which region the flower develops. Flower is the result of the bud. As you can see this twig having the leaves in alternate phyllotaxy. If you look at each leaf, from the node only one leaf develops. Considering the angle made by the leaf with the stem is axial, and in the axial the bud develops. At the base of the bud, we can see this tiny leaf. It is said to be bract. Flower with bract is called bracteate, and flower without bract is ebracteate. There is a scientific language to write the floral formula. While writing floral formula, if you find the bract with the flower, you have to write as BR. If you don't find the bract, you have to write as EBR. This stalk is known as pedicel. Flower with pedicel is said to be pedicellate, and flower without pedicel is said to be sessile. Now whatever I am holding here in today's session, these all are pedicellate flowers. You have to look around, observe and try to see the sessile flowers without this pedicel. This flower is growing in the axial, so it is axillary flower. If flower grow at the apex, it is apical or terminal flower. Today we will study one by one all parts of the flower. These are the hibiscus flowers with different colors and the arrangement. These are Hibiscus rosa sinensis flowers having varieties of colors in it. This is the long pedicel. At the apex of the pedicel, if you see, these are tiny green colored structures known as bracteoles. Bract is bigger and limited in number at the base of the pedicel. Bracteoles are tiny, numerous, present at the apex. Now, flower with bracteoles known as bracteolate, it is written as BRL, and without bracteoles we call ebracteolate, written as EBRL. Now, flower having 4 whorls, out of which 2 are essential as they produce gametes, necessary whorls for sexual reproduction, and we call androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is the male whorl, gynoecium is the female whorl. To protect these necessary essential whorls, there are 2 more whorls which are present outside. The green colored whorl is calyx, made up of sepals, and brightly colored, here it is red in color, here it is orange in color. Here it is yellow in color. So these are the petals with attractive colors. This flower is growing in the axil of a small leaf. From here, what I am holding, this is the pedicel. So it is pedicellate flower. At the apex of the pedicel, we can see these tiny structures. These are called bracts. They are more than 2. So it forms a whorl called epicalyx. Above this epicalyx, the expanded portion of the pedicel is thalamus. This thalamus supporting 4 whorls one above the other. The green colored whorl is calyx made up of sepals. It protects the flower in bud condition, and when flower blooms, it supports the inner whorls. The petals forming the second accessory whorl. It is corolla. Corolla made up of petals. Calyx and corolla differentiated here. So we call heteroclamadious flower. There are some flowers where calyx and corolla are undifferentiated. It is homoclamadious flower. There are flowers where calyx corolla absent, a chlamydious flower. Now, inside when we see, these are essential whorls. Whatever is visible yellowish in color, this is the staminal tube, and these are the filaments with yellow tiny structures called anthers, right? And these anthers will produce the pollen grains. These are microspores carrying the male gametes during pollination towards the carpel. So androecium composed of stamens. Each stamen has filament and anther. Here filaments are united forming a staminal tube, to which connectives are there exposing anthers, and anther is a fertile part in which microspores are developing during microsporogenesis. Inside we can see these tiny structures. These are the stigmas. We can easily count 5 stigmas are here. It indicates the gynoecium made up of 5 members, as the flower is pentacarpellary. 5 sepals, 5 petals, numerous stamens, and 5 carpels. Now these carpels are the members of gynoecium having ovary at the base, which is located above the thalamus. Style, which is hollow, and the stigmas. Here stigmas are free, style is united, and ovary is single having 5 compartments. Okay, in next session we will study one by one all the arrangement and the typical features of each whorl. So in this session I introduced the parts of the flower. The flower is highly condensed modified shoot for sexual reproduction, either axillary in position or terminal in position on the shoot system. It is either pedicellate or sessile. It is bracteate or ebracteate. It is bracteolate or ebracteolate. And thalamus and its arrangement or its function to support the inner whorls, based on that we call flower in 3 categories. Now in this flower, ovary is superior. Then flower is said to be hypogynous. Sometimes thalamus is like a vase, ovary is inside. Such flowers are called as epigynous. Sometimes thalamus is like a cup where ovary is half inferior and half superior. Flower is said to be perigynous. For this also symbols are there that we are learning in the last session of the flower. Okay. With this, I will conclude this session. In the next session, I'll explain each part in detail. Thank you.